Okay. Much better. Had my mic on. Had my headset still turned on. Let me get on the comments here. How's everybody doing tonight? Am I still on mute? I don't think I am. Hey, everybody. I don't think I'm on mute anymore, I don't think. Make sure here. Everything is good. All right. How's everybody tonight? Say hello. I saw Black Dragon in here earlier. Let's see. Let's go down the line. Forever. You guys are holding pretty good conversation. Black Dragon, Paradox Fossils, Smoochie, Cindy. Hello, Miss Norris. Mama. Blue Crossroads. Hey, what's up? And that's pretty much it, huh? Oh, Raymond. Hey, how you doing, Raymond? Nicole, how you doing? Mark. Hello, Sir Mark. Just trying to get caught up here. Good to see everybody. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell one of my encounters tonight. Figured it'd be fun. See how my internet seems to be doing okay. Hate the lag though on YouTube. I'll let everybody say hello and come in. And we'll start here a little bit. Try not to hug the camera. There we go. Ghosty. No, Gemma's not coming tonight. She's probably in bed. It's just me on Wednesday nights. And then Laura tomorrow night at 8, I believe. And then Oracles will be Saturday night. And then I'll stream Saturday after that for Gemma's replays. So I guess it'll be all-nighter for me. But it usually is. No, we're just going to the midnight. It'll be 10 to midnight. Just 2 hours because I got to get up in the morning and get busy too. When I sleep, if I don't get a lot of it done while they're asleep. So we're just going to go by that. Because she'll have to stream like every other Friday and every other Saturday. She comes sometimes. Well, sometimes she'll stop in, but that's up if she's up or not. Depends on what's going on. So I cannot guarantee even if she'll say hi. So. And hello, hon. Oh, I see right now. That's a good thing. But yeah, that's how it's going to work for a while. So I'll be doing 10 to midnights on Wednesday. I might do Friday since she's not streaming Friday night. I might go ahead and do a chill and chat Friday night at midnight. We'll see how it goes since I'm doing tonight. And then, like I said, I will be streaming after Oracle's Saturday night. How you feeling? And so that's how it's going to go. Just work with us here until we get everything worked out. But Pixie will be here tomorrow night at 8. And I'll be in the background just checking the scene. Yeah, please hit that likes. Leave comments afterwards, please. I don't care what you say. Just be nice. But yeah, I'm going to tell a story here in a little bit. Or not a story, an actual encounter. Something I went through. Now that we're getting into the Halloween season, I guess I can really start telling some stories. You know, a lot of them didn't happen over Halloween. Today was a good day. Good. Just don't give up. And just keep moving. It's the key. Keep moving. Exercise is key right now. Just don't kill yourself too. I'm glad everybody's good though. That makes me happy. Okay. Well, like I said, this is just roll in and roll out chat. Even though I might tell something here in a little bit. I got a couple encounters I'm going to tell. It'll be fun. That way you guys can chat while I ramble. But if you do go to bed, have a good night. The scarier, the better. I'll get to the good ones as we get closer to Halloween. Though I do have some pretty good scary ones. Some of them are just weird. But, you know, I could talk about every night. I could talk about what I see during the day. But see, I've been real careful the last few days. I have stuck pretty close to home. I haven't gone too far at all. And the reason is because it's bad. I'm seeing it everywhere now. It's, you know, I don't mind seeing it once or, you know, one or two while I'm out and about. But when you start seeing it everywhere with a lot of people, it's a little nerve wracking. Hey, D-Rock, how you doing? What? I don't know what that was about, but yeah, so the schedule's going to be crazy. So remember, I'm going to drill it into everybody's head tonight. So tomorrow, Laura 8, and then maybe me Friday night at midnight. We'll see. And then Saturday, Gemma will do Oracle and Intuitive Oracle at 7:15, same time to 11, and try to get your name on there by 10. And then I'll stream after that for hey. I'll stream after that with replay, and then her premiere on Monday. Hopefully, I have a video for that so I can show the thumbnail for it. But that's it. That's the game plan for right now. So just bear with us. Yeah, I'm busy too. I'm trying to get ready for winter and make sure he's settled in. And I'm rearranging my room and trying to get his room rearranged again. Yeehaw. Go, go, go. I'll be in Memphis this weekend. Probably won't be in Oracle. That's fine. Yeah, she can't do it till Saturday night. She has the mommies on Friday night. Yeah, it'll be good. Just bear with her. It'll give her nice too. It'll be a nice change of pace. But I do miss Wednesdays. I have to admit, I do miss Wednesdays. But not much you can do about it right now. Maybe someday. But right now, we just got to go with the flow. What time we got? I know 12 came fast last time. That's only 8 after. Band. Sounds like a plan, Stan. Sounds like a plan, Stan. Yep. Did you find a place for everything? Yeah, I did. I moved my room around. That's what I'm doing now. That's what I did tonight. While it was go, go, go all day. I figured tonight would be a good night to kind of get things shifted. Yeah, I do too. It's kind of weird. I come in here tonight and it's like earlier today, about 2:00. I'm going, nope, I don't got to get ready. So I was trying, because I'm always on the go. I mean, there was a couple times she didn't think I was going to show up because I was just busy. Go, go, go. Yeah, I was just going to ask how the kid was. Thank you, Blue. Hope they're good. Yeah, I got some of them over here. I got one over there. My Godzillas are behind me now. All I have to do is find a better place for my Dragon Ball Z guys. But yeah, I got crap everywhere. I'm thinking about packing some of it up because it's getting kind of crowded in here. Dad goes, "Oh, switch rooms with you," because he's got the master bedroom. Yeah, that's your room, dude. So I'm just gonna stay put. I might put some of this away, but right now I think I'm good. I just gotta shift a few more things around, and I'm done. And then I can work on his room. He wants to shift his room around again. We got a big bed for him. We just got to clean it up. For you, I have my old, yeah. I got a few of those too put away in there. I think I got all the old ones on VHS. I don't have too many of the new ones. But I have everything else. So it's all scattered. We have a big, huge DVD Blu-ray rack out in the living room. And it's packed. Yep, I do the VHS. I still have my player. I still use it. I still play my VHSs. Some stuff you can't even find on VHS anymore. I mean, you can't even find on DV or Blu-ray. You'll be lucky to have it on VHS. Yeah, you'll have that. A lot of just keeping everything clean, storing it right, make sure they're sitting up. Don't lay them down, because if you lay them down, they sag. If you lay them flat, they sag. So you always sit them up, top in. But yeah, a lot of people coming in. That's good. Oh, we got a lot of people. I'll probably start a story here for a second. Give it up. Betamax had better sound. Yeah, it did in a day, but unfortunately, it never really took off. Ghosty loved the small Godzilla toys. Yeah, I love the Pops too. Those are Pops. And then I got a little teeny one here somewhere. Yeah, right here. I got two little teeny ones, like my little buddies. They're down here guarding somebody. Little Pop Godzilla. Let's see if I can get it with focus. 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 But, and then this little rubber guy came in a box. But yep, I got my Godzillas. I had to sell a lot of my old Prime stuff when I was going to chemo and stuff. I sold a lot to pay off doctor bills. But they're paid, so I don't have to worry about them. It's just material items. I'll find them again someday. Dinosaur, T-Rex. Stuff I should have kept. Yeah, I kept a lot. Man, I had a ton of stuff, but I had to sell some of it, a lot of it actually. Yeah, it's all right. Like I said, it's material items. Like I said, it paid the doctor bills. I had to sell some old comic books and stuff, but it paid the doctor bills and it paid the rent for a while, so I didn't have to worry. I got a good deal on everything. Couldn't complain. Like I said, it paid off all the doctors. Paid my rent for like 2 months. So that was good. That's all that matters right now. I'm here. So let's see. I don't know where to start. So what do you guys want to hear? You guys got a particular thing you want to hear about? Now, see, I can tell you a rake story. Oh, no, he's got to go. Yep, go Godzilla. Yeah, because I've seen a rake a few times. Those things are creepy. We were, I'll give you one. We'll start. This was about, see, the rakes have been around for a while. I never knew what to call them until everybody started calling them rakes. So I stuck with that. I just called them goons. That's what they were, just freaky, like ghouls. One guy called him a goon. I called him a goon for a while. Then I called him a ghouls. And then everybody started calling them rakes. So I just called them that. They've been seen for a long time. They say it's a creepypasta. Hey, Richard Elmore, how you doing? And they say it's a creepypasta, but it's been around a lot longer than that creepypasta has. But this was about 1973, 74, gone camping. We go up to Lake Erie sometimes, and just depending on the time of years, on what side of the lake we go. Now, during the fall, we like to go up toward the east side of the lake, up around just on the other side of Cleveland. But we stay inland. We don't get real close to the lake. It's only like a half-hour drive. And we go camping. And I went with two friends from school and a guy from work that worked with me at Bonanza. And we left on a Friday, right after work, because we all work day shifts. And it was right before school, so we got lucky. And his parents took us. So we went with this one guy's parents, or we were only enough to drive. But we went with his parents. And they actually had two campsites. They had a campsite and we had a campsite, which I thought was really cool of them. We weren't drinking or anything like that. We were just kids. So we get up there, and it was pretty quiet Friday night. We got our tent set up and everything. And they're real nice people. We went over and had to cook out and hung out and played played some ball and stuff. And that evening we got settled in, and we heard them over there talking. They must have known somebody on one of the other campsites. You know, they go there a lot. We were all hanging out, and we all go back to our tents and settle in. We've got a little campfire going. We're talking, doing the s'mores. And one of the guys, it was kind of funny, one of the guys sitting there, Jeff, was looking over my shoulder going, do you hear that? And I go, I don't hear anything. And the other guy, Chuck, goes, yeah, I hear it too. I think it's probably skunks or something. So we, keep our eyes peeled. So be quiet. You can hear something rustling around in the brush, because it was a good brush around ours. And it was just enough clearing that we could see their campsite and their parents can see our campsite, which was nice. We're sitting there. They go to bed. They put out their fire. His parents go out to fire. We're still hearing movement in the thing. We just figured it was coons and stuff waiting for us to go to bed, see if they can find any snacks or anything. So our fire starts dying out. And this is probably about 1 o'clock, 1:30. And we finished putting the fire out and start getting settled in. I get in my tent. We each had our own tent. It was like a little one-man tents. And I'm crashing. I don't crash, but I'm kind of crashed there, kind of laying there, listening to everybody talk. We're all talking to each other still. And everybody starts getting quiet, and I'm laying there rocking back and forth like I always do. And it was pretty quiet, but we kept hearing this hooting noise. And it didn't sound like an owl. It didn't sound like a Bigfoot. It was really weird. It was kind of a real scruffy, like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And so we all kind of woke up after about 15 minutes of it, because that's got to be an owl. And then as soon as we started talking, it stopped. So we all got quiet again. I'm laying there rocking, nothing the rest of the night. Well, Saturday night, we went fishing, did all that fun things during the day, came back probably about, 6 o'clock, ate dinner, all went back to we went back to our site. We were over there screwing around, playing around in the woods there. And Chuck goes, holy crap. He said something else, so I'm trying to be quiet. And he starts yelling for me and the other guy. And it was weird, because he all of a sudden got real quiet. He goes, shh, be quiet. And where are you? Just be quiet. Just stop for a minute and listen. And you can hear this thing calling Chuck. It was saying Chuck. It was going, Chuck, Chuck, Chuck. And Chuck goes, do you hear it? And I go, yeah. And he goes, we go, where are you? I'm just a little bit in front of you. And it was pretty thick brush. So we're going through it. We find him. And it's getting dark. This was just as the sun was cracking. And he goes, that's so weird. Is it saying my name, right? And I said, yeah, it's what it sounds like. And we're, a bunch of kids who are in our teens. And we're getting kind of gutsy. So we start picking up sticks and stuff. We're going to find this thing. Scare it off. And as we're getting deeper into the thing, we're starting to realize, hey, man, we don't really know where we're at. And we've never wandered that far before in those woods. So we start, backtracking. And as we're backtracking, we hear the thing start going, chock, chock, chock. So he stops and goes, what should I answer back? I go, go ahead. So he answers back, what do you want? He goes, come here, Chock. And we thought it was his dad. Then we started thinking it was his dad messing with us. And, we get closer. As we got closer, it was really weird. Yeah, it was not really mimicking his dad, but it was like his dad trying to do a voice. So we stopped and waited, and we started kind of moving slowly again toward it. And then the other guy goes, well, I'm booking. So he left. I don't like this. He left. And me and Chuck are standing there, and we can hear him talking to his parents, because we must not have been far inside as we thought. He's in there talking to his dad. And all of a sudden you hear his dad coming. As soon as his dad started calling for us, Chuck turns around and we start walking back, and he goes, Chuck, come here. And as soon as Chuck and I turned around to see where it was coming from, all we saw was this white dangly finger. I mean, this thing was just skin. It was the skin. It was like something that was just bones that had skin on top of it. It was like nothing to it. It was solid white, eyes just solid black. And it was standing up, and it was actually holding on to a tree, hanging off a tree. And it was looking at us and bopping his head. And he goes, Chuck, come here. And we just booked. And we went to go, and his dad met us by halfway. So his dad followed us back toward where we saw it, and it was gone. And that was it. We both freaked out for like the rest of the night. You should have seen us. We all actually went back and took our tents back over to their parents' camp. And we stayed there and never saw it again that night that we left that Monday, and never saw it again. And then that was like the first time of 2 times that I saw it, the very first 2 times, because I saw it again not too much later, but it was a different one, and it was closer here to my home. And that was down in the woods down here by the cemetery. And I don't know what that was about. Oops. Anyways, here it was down at the cemetery. Now, that was a little bit more of my personal experience. Me and Dan were down there playing, and I was about the same age. It was 73, 74, so we were about like 14, 15 years old, somewhere in there. And we're down there screwing around, building a fort. We're down there building a fort, screwing around. And another friend, Mark, comes, and we're all building this fort. And we're screwing around, playing around. You got to be careful, because that was when the kind of homeless people were starting camping down there. And that was still pretty early, but, they did all this time for years. But it was pretty rare. They usually got shooed out by somebody. We kept hearing people talking, so we went and looked around for a while, couldn't hear anything, and couldn't find anybody. So we figured they were down we weren't that far from the Old Tangy River. So we figured it was somebody just down there fishing. Because a lot of people went down there and fished. And, a lot of other kids in the neighborhood and the neighborhoods around. And we're down, and we're in there building our fort, working away. It's getting about 4 or 5 o'clock. And like I said, this wasn't much after the one we saw up in Cleveland. And Mark had to head home because he had to be up early. And Dan and I screw around. I never really had a curfew. Neither did he. So we were just standing down there messing around. And then Dan said he had to get going because he had to get up for 2 days. So I go, okay, later. And I left, and we all started. Well, I hung around, kind of cleaned up because I had brought some tools to build the fort with. So I'm picking up the tools, and he's gone. We go through, and I usually go home the same way I went home the night when I turned 12. And as you come up through the woods, and then you come up from behind the cemetery, and you come out into a crack. They cut the fence open, so you just go through the fence. And hey, Bob, how you doing? And I didn't say hi, friends with monsters. Hey, what's up? I saw you in here. But we didn't think much of it. I lost my track now. And I'm coming up through the cemetery. I'm getting to the back of the cemetery, and I hear something coming up from behind me. And I'm thinking it stands. So I turn around. I go, Novak, what do you want? What do you want? And he doesn't answer. And it got real quiet. I mean, everything stopped. And I'm going, not this again. And I mean, it got so quiet. You could hear a pin drop. I mean, you couldn't hear it. And the wind wasn't moving, nothing. And next thing I know, I see some movement up around. They had a bank, and the creek was down here. The creek was down in here, and then there's another little bank. And I'm standing on one edge, and I see it moving across. It was crossing the creek, and it was moving fast, and it was low. But I couldn't see what it was. I couldn't tell what color it was because it moved really fast. So I start backing up and going, what is that? At first, I thought maybe it was a big cat, just a regular house cat. And then all of a sudden, I see this white head pop up over the bank behind this bush, and it looks at me, and it's got black, solid eye mass. It had pointed teeth, and it was grinning, and just the top half of the teeth were pointed. The other time you couldn't see them, and it didn't have ears. It just kind of had a head that kind of came to a point. It was more thin, and it was real lanky, and the fingers were real long. And it was standing on its, and then it scooted out on its fingers, and it kept looking at me. And I kind of stopped, and I went, "No way, I'm not doing this." And I booked. Well, the next night, we all meet down there to work, and I was telling the guys, "Hey, this is what." And Dan goes, "No way." He goes, "I saw one just like that." "What was that?" And I go, "I don't know." He goes, he said he saw it probably about just minutes before I did, because he left before I did. And he goes, "Do you think it was watching us the whole time?" I go, "I don't know." And Mark goes, "What are you guys talking about?" And we both tell him what's going on. We never did after that night see it again. But I've seen it like in other places with other people, and it's creepy. I mean, it's always in these weird, where it's like this place down here. It's woods, and it goes for a while. But there's a housing developed, so it's not like it's expansions of large acreage of forest. It's just like, a little neighborhood forest, pretty good size. And, the forest that runs along the old Tangy. So it's like, how come people haven't seen this thing before? It's just still creepy. I mean, I'm a little nervous because that story, they don't bother me. It seems like every time I bring them up, I see them. It's like black-eyed kids and certain other things. If you talk about them too much, they kind of show up, especially after you see them the first time. That first time was weird because it was a campground, and it happened so fast and so weird. And that was a while ago, too. There was a big party through the high school, so it kind of have to. I'm not as like that anymore, though. I don't know if that was entertaining. I'll get better at it. No, I don't think these were aliens. He doesn't come. This thing, it looks more demonic. It's just weird. I know you've seen probably pictures of them, and it's pretty much what I see. Some of them are big, some of them are real skinny. I've seen little small ones. We saw a little small one crawl out from an abandoned house up in Delaware. We were driving around the country, stopped at this house, and I swear this thing was nasty. Chuck was with me again, and he was like, why would we keep seeing these things? And this thing was small. We were leaving. It was about 12 o'clock at night, and we kept hearing noises in the house, but it was in the basement. And me and him would wander around in the house and hear it, and we'd go to look for it and couldn't find anything. But we didn't catch anything. It was just an old abandoned house. So we go to leave, and we hear the noises again, but it's a lot louder. It's like something clanking, like something trying to open something. And I hold my flashlight on one side of the house, and he's holding his flashlight on the other side, and we're separated on each side of the house. And all of a sudden, I go, look, and he comes running over. And just as he came over, this white, langly thing, and it couldn't have been maybe about that big, maybe 2 feet, 3 feet, maybe not even that. It wasn't very big. Come up up underneath the house and scurried off into the darkness. I go, that was no rat. That was no rat. And we were even trying to figure out where it came from because there was no window there. It was just brick. But it was weird because it moved real fast. It kind of came up. I go, too bad alien. Well, if aliens were around, I would have said that was a little baby alien. Thing was weird, and it was white, and it looked like a small version of a rake. They come crawling out, and it didn't even look at us. It just looked across our flashlights and into the darkness, and it was gone. Do you keep seeing more than in? Do you keep seeing more than in the past, Ghost? I see more now than I did in the past. Now I've seen a lot in the past, but a lot of that was, like I said, with other people. Now, when I saw other things following people, I saw that all the time. I see that. I've seen that ever since I can remember, of things following people. That's why I don't talk about it a whole lot, because what am I going to say? I saw a goddamn gas station and had something following. Because sometimes I don't even know. The couple of times that I've interacted with them in the last couple of times is because I was kind of in that position. I had to. But usually, if you're just like in the store, I'll see 1 or 2, 3, now 4 or 5 people with these things on their backs. Some of them are spirits, but a lot of these things are not spirits. A lot of these things, I don't think they're good. And they're touching people now, and they're holding people. I've seen one actually walking around with his arm linked over a person's shoulder, and it didn't come off as something good. Usually I pick it up if it's good. This didn't come off as good. In fact, the last couple weeks, they've come off kind of negative. And I'm like, what's going on? And I have literally found excuses not to go anywhere because I have literally stayed pretty close to the house most of this week. I think I went out once the other day to go pick up a few things, and I was in and out. That's not as bad as it sounds. I feel bad. It makes me feel bad for people because I just, it's hard to tell them what are they going to do. You know, are they going to believe you? You know, I've been lucky enough that I've told people and I haven't had a problem. They just kind of look at me either weird or okay. And some of them actually say, yeah, things have been weird for me lately. But most times people just look at me like I'm nut and walk away. So, but lately it has been pretty bad. I don't know well, I know what it is, but it's pretty rough. And I have literally tried to stay home. I don't want to go out. I don't know. It's just everybody's all amped up or what. Now the other day when I went out the other day, I saw a few things, but most of them were And then there was a couple at the gas station when I had stuff full tank, put gas in the car. And there was people at the pumps. Both of them, one didn't have anything, and the other one seemed to have a family member with them. Seemed like they were protecting them. It didn't come off as bad. It came off as family. So that didn't bother me. But when I went into the station inside, the Indian guy running the counter, what was behind him wasn't good. It looked kind of frizzled, in fact. What am I going to say? I'm going to try to read some of these questions. Are these dark shadows, gaps? Some of them are shadows. Some are like mists. So now I'm seeing like a black fog. It's not like a solid shadow. Now I see solid shadows. I've seen them a lot. Usually the things that seem negative either seem to be kind of a black fog or like a mass. It's just like a mass. And every so often, like when I see him holding on to people, it actually looks like it's a mass, but it looks like it's holding on. Very rarely has I seen the mass actually on the person. I've only seen that twice in 2 weeks. That kind of bothers me. It just makes me feel bad for people because I know people are hurting and stuff. There's a lot of negative out there. People need to wake up. Try to read all these chats here. Hold on. I'm not like Miss Gemma there. I'm not a speeder. These are shadows. It's been 4 or 5 years now. I suddenly felt the strong need to. Yeah, your necklace helps. This helps. I'm pretty strong. A lot of times, like I said, they don't even know I'm watching them. And every so often I've gotten that they see me too. But luckily, when I have been out the last week or so, it hasn't been so bad. Everything seems to not. And a lot of times when they see me, they don't seem to like the fact that I can see them. And it's usually they take off or disappear. I'm sure they catch back up with whoever they're hanging on to, but they don't like. I mean, it seems like I'm not gonna say they're scared of me, but that's the impression I get is they don't like the fact. So, if that makes sense, there's a protective layer that's been holding things back. Yeah, the veil is lifting and it's thinning. Or veil will thin first, so you start to see the other side, and then now it's starting to lift. So now it's starting to come through. That's the way I see it. Cindy, the link is above. Did I miss a link to something? Hello, Long Island Bigfoot. Mike, thanks for coming in, man. Hey, John P. Adventures. Hey, what's up? Appreciate you guys coming in. I was rambling. But yeah, I mean, it's what I'm seeing now. I'm not liking, and it's making it hard to go out. I get Jenna sometimes. I know why she, sometimes, but she can protect herself. I've tried everything. And it's not really protecting myself. I'm going to, everybody that sees or hears or involved in that type of activity in one form or another, you pay for it one way or another. Your body and it takes a toll on you. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it is very, but it does take a toll on you. And, I think some of my health issues may be a part of it. They say I have Tourette's, the rocking. Well, I've been rocking since I was 2 years old. How do I know I didn't start seeing things at 2 years old? It scared me so bad that this is what I do now. And I've got questions. Some questions have been answered and some have not been answered. And I guess that time will come. But all I know is I can't protect myself. I protect myself by not protecting myself, I guess. I don't feel like I do cleanse myself and I keep myself, I do take care of myself enough that I don't allow anything to make attachment. But I've never had that problem. Now I've seen stuff here. You guys seen things here in my room. That was done for a reason, so people knew. But other than that, ever since I turned 12 and my hair turned white, I haven't been afraid. And like I said, the only things that ever scared me to the point that I was in fear and had to hide was the demon and the Hat Man. The Hat Man was first and the demon. And I pray I never see that Hat Man again. But my gut tells me I'm going to see him again. I don't know why, but it just keeps telling me he's going to come back or I'm going to see him with somebody else. And it's going to be somebody I know this time. Because I didn't know the guy. It was in elementary school. And as for the demon, I don't want to ever see that thing again. That thing was disgusting and evil and just bad. And it just wanted to drain that poor kid and drive him into the ground as hard as he could. And I'm glad Thomas was able to help him. Oh, hi, Alexander Malley. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. I'm watching two chats. I only put the YouTube up because it kind of darkens screens. I'm not running off two screens. Guess I'm going to have to hook up the other TV so I can do dual screens like I used to. But yeah, things are getting crazy, folks. I'm telling you, folks. Make things right. Make yourself right with whatever, and because it's going to get weirder. The veil is lifting, and it's starting to come out now. I actually had a friend call me the other day. Somebody that never believed. He's told me that he's pretty sure he's living in a haunted house. He had bought a house that belonged to a friend of his from church. And he says, man, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on. And he just lives probably a neighborhood or two away from me. So I'm thinking about going and checking it out. See what's going on. I don't like doing that, though. See, I was always told not to interact, but this is a friend. So I'm going to go check out this house and make sure it's nothing bad. So I'm not like Gemma. I don't just walk in. I have to hang out there for a while and see what happens. See what I'm missing here. Yeah, you can do that, Black, but you got to be careful too, because your mind and your body can only withstand so much of that. Believe me, I do it all the time. Hey, Ann Palmer, how you doing, sweetie? Yeah, it's going to come to that, and the super surface of water. Yeah, it may come to that. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. As long as you're right with God, and I'm going to be honest with you folks. If you're right with God, you may not have a problem. But I'm telling you, what I'm seeing, and if I'm fighting going out to go to the store, because I like, even with everything I see, I like going out. Because not everything I see is bad. Some of it is good, and it's good to see that good. But man, the last month and a half, 2 months, it has been nuts, and it's crazy. And I don't know if I should stand on a street corner and start telling people you need to start paying attention to the things that are attached to you. I'm almost this close. That's how bad I'm seeing this stuff. I almost did one day. I don't know. I told Dad, if you can't find me, I'm standing on the corner preaching, because people need to know what's attached to them. And I'm tired of seeing it. Anna's trying to tempt you with all that bacon. I know they love that. We love that bacon. Gotta have that bacon. Black Dragon's on it too. I saw him. He was there for the bacon. He's getting his share of bacon tonight. It's in all texts. It's coming. Yes. Yeah. It's everywhere. I agree with that. Everybody has their versions of Revelations, one form or another. It's all pretty close too. But yeah, it's gonna get weird, and you be prepared because like YouTube, they've already admitted they're getting ready to start censoring everybody. And your media is going to start being picky. They just passed a law in London where they call it the Protection Act, where now they can monitor everything on the computer. They can monitor your messages and everything for your protection. They just passed that law there. It's going to come here soon. You're going to have to watch what you say everywhere because they're going to be on you. They're getting ready to buckle down, and it's coming. And yeah, I personally, if 2024 elections come, I'll be shocked. But I guarantee if they come, it's not going to be what people think. Because these people are not letting go of their hold now. And they're going to do whatever they can to get control. They're already trying to wean us down. If you notice, I can't even say the C word because they've already started giving content creators crap about that too. Let's just hope that if you're getting shots, those shots, be careful. They've been doing that, Dragon, yeah. Yeah, it'll be my day to shut my mouth too, but I don't want to get Gemma in trouble. I mean, she's worked hard for this channel. And I'm telling you, they are paying 50. And I have no problem with that. That's okay. There's other places we can discuss this stuff, and it's coming because I'm getting ready to set up my channel over on the other place. And then I'm going to move Gemma over with some videos because you can't stream until you have so many followers. And then you work out. Then I got to figure all that out. But yeah, I recorded a video the other day that I'm only going to release on Rumble, and I'm just going to edit it and see how it runs, and then I'm going to see how she does. I'm going to get her channel started over there because she's got to start a channel over there so we can put some of her older videos over there, some of her backlog over there, and see how they do. Thailand sounds better and better every day. I don't know. You better be careful there too. I don't think anybody's going to be excluded. You're better off probably buying an island, and when you buy that island, you better make sure that you're guarded to the T. Nobody get on that island. I'm remaining under-injected. Yes, me too. I can't. They won't. My own doctor said, no, not with your issues. It wouldn't be a good idea. No, I'm working on it right now, Mark, on that. But it'll be soon, believe me. It will be very soon because I'm telling you. So I wanted to keep her channel here, but they're going to start cracking down. And with if we get election season, even one way or another, they're going to crack down. They're already saying it. They're already showing they're implementing it. All the new rules are being put in place. But I don't want to get too political because get her in trouble. But just be ready. And, well, I mean, I'm not going to stop. She's not going to stop streaming here and stuff. It just makes what we think we can come in here and do on my channel, on my streaming. I shouldn't say channel. Her channel at my streams. I like to make it as free as possible while we talk. But unfortunately, we got to be careful. I don't want to get her in trouble. She doesn't deserve it. And they'll pick at anything. So I heard a commercial today. Do you remember the first night we met on 13 past midnight? Oh, they're talking Smoochie. I'm so osteopath. Do you remember? I'm trying to catch up here. Yeah, I'm thinking about both. A lot of people are moving. A lot of people are moving over. Um, you heard about Russell Brand and all them, and they're just using them as examples. They're just setting them as examples. Hey, you screw with, we don't like what you're doing. We're going to, remove you. He's back, I guess. I didn't look, but somebody said he was back. The other channel, 13 Pastor. I hope he's doing all right. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about him in a while. So, Nightmare, what are you up to tonight? Just hanging? Yeah. We will just leave it at that, okay? Smoochy? It happens. What do you do? At least they gave her a good start. I will say that. But yeah, I'm gonna guess, and probably in the next, it's already starting now. You're gonna start hearing people open up about more and more encounters, cryptic, Bigfoot, everything. People are gonna start, people in those areas are gonna start speaking out. I think you're gonna hear a lot more of the paranormal side and UFO side. We already know what's going on in the UFO world, so I won't call them UAPs. They're UFOs to me, and that's what I'm gonna call them. But other than that, it's already starting to slide through. The veil is lifting. I think the next 3 years are going to get real interesting. I think the next 2 are actually going to get real interesting. The end of this and 24 and 25 are going to be very, very interesting years, especially in the paranormal world, because this Earth is a very supernatural place. This guy's I'm just trying to catch up the chat. I've been rambling. Anybody got anything? Anybody got anything they want to talk about? I can't keep rambling. Might be like I said, I don't mind telling encounters. I'm not very good at it. I forget names and stuff. It's been a long time. And I guess I'm just gonna have to get my books out, because all my notebooks, the stuff that I did keep, will give me some good ones. A lot of this I go off by memory. Have you ever? I'm pretty sure I may have seen a Bigfoot. Here it's called Grassman, but I'm not sure, because it could have been a guy in a gunny suit. It would have been a pretty big guy, and that was down around Logan County here in Ohio. But I can't tell you for sure. I mean, from the way it ran through the thing and what I saw on the ground, it could have been, it couldn't have been. It was during the fall, so there was a lot of crap on the ground. So rained. It was rough. So I couldn't say for sure if that's what I saw. I didn't have any cameras or anything going. It just totally caught me off guard. I was just sitting and enjoying an afternoon. Though I did put the camera out on the porch a couple times and didn't catch anything. I was out in the middle of nowhere. Well, I wouldn't say pretty much in nowhere. My cabinet was they were pretty well spread apart. Heard a lot of stuff, but nope. I was also taking care of other things. I was actually taking a break from having surgeries done. But I don't ask for Bigfoot. Yeah, maybe I'm a couple times. I can't say for sure. As for Dogman, I don't think I saw a Dogman. I know I saw a female werewolf. We're pretty sure that's what it was. The only guy that got a picture broke the camera because he said it was cursed, and he wouldn't let anybody see the picture. So he broke the camera and just destroyed everything. I was kind of bummed. The one guy, there was 3 of us together, and Jeff was one of them, and another guy. The guy that saw it, I won't say his name because he gets pissed when we talk about it. Jeff saw the picture. I didn't get to see the picture, which really pissed me off, because we were standing right there. And what we saw on the other side of the flames, what I saw was a big hair, and it looked like a wolf. It looked like a werewolf. It was tall. Just like your classic monster. It had breasts, so that's why I'm saying it's probably a female. And it looked sad. It was growling, and it looked sad. And we all just went and looked at it, and it just kind of stood there because it was standing on just an edge. There's like a little incline. It looked like it come up and stood there and looked at us and looked at us through the fire because we were all on the other side of the fire. The picture I took, the picture Jeff took, we got nothing but flames. Greg was standing in between us. He took it straight through the fire, and Jeff said his picture looked like the fire opened up just for him so he could get a clean picture. He said it was what we saw. And Greg freaked. I mean, he was like, no. And he was freaking out. We were a little drinking too. Or he was drinking. I don't drink. But I was probably the only one there that probably wasn't drunk. But he was freaking out. I mean, this dude was freaking out. And next thing we know, he kept it. He went in. He disappeared for a couple hours. We thought maybe he went in there and passed out. Went to go get his phone, and he wouldn't give us the phone. So finally he came out and took a big rock to it and started smashing it because it's cursed. I don't want nobody seeing it. It's going to be cursed. It's going to be cursed. That would have been one picture I wanted to see. Because if it's as good as Jeff said it was, he said it was freaked him out. Jeff was even kind of traumatized by it for a couple of days. It was like standing in a Hollywood movie. It's what it was like. It was like being in an actual horror movie. I'd say that was probably my best that kind of encounter ever because I saw it clear as day. It was a female, and it could have been a dog man, but to me, it looked like a werewolf, like you would see in a Hollywood movie. And she just kind of growled, and I keep saying it's she because that's the impression I got. She kind of looked at us, growled, and it just something sad about the whole thing. And by the time we all took our pictures, you could hear her running down the ledge, and it was booking. You could hear it just booking. You could hear it. And everybody else over on the other side of the yard were freaking out, going, "What you guys yelling at?" We were freaking out. Greg was screaming. Standing in a Hollywood movie. Yeah, that's what it felt like, and I know crap. You know, it's like certain things, those are the things I remember because I could almost draw. If I could still draw, I would have drawn a picture. I just wish my picture would have turned out. I wish somebody else's picture would have turned out except for Greg's. Because and he's one of these tough guys. You got to understand, Greg is one of these, I'm a manly man. And he's got a high IQ too. And then he saw that. When he looked down and looked at his phone, I knew something wasn't right. Because his face got white. I mean, white. And Jeff looks over his shoulder and goes, "Holy crap." And I go, "Let me see." And Greg's like, "No, you'll get into it. You'll want to keep it. No, it's going to be cursed. No." And next thing I know, and then he went inside. He didn't break it. He went inside, crashed. We think he crashed for about because we did bother him. And then we decided we're going to go get the phone. I got to have that picture. And we went in to go get the phone from him. He was awake. He was just all fetal position with his phone all cramped up under his armpit. And finally, he just said, "Screw you guys." He went out and "Hey, Mike, behold, I saw a question. GD, yes. Ghost Dragon. Hey, New England, dirty. Hey, you're dirty, New England. No. Sorry about that, New England dirt roadie. How you doing, sir? I always check my phone before bed, and I'm glad I did. I'm still going to bed. Good night, Ralph. Thanks for stopping in. I'm glad you stopped in. I do appreciate it. You have a good night too there. Okay? That made me laugh. New England dirty. New England's dirty. Sorry about that. I get to rambling. It's been a good day. I've got a lot done today. But yeah, it's just, he freaked out. And I haven't talked to him after that. He kind of like became a dick. And he drank real heavy for a while. I went over one time and I couldn't stay the night. And he got mad because I couldn't stay. I was just too rough. He got mad. So he made me stay anyways. And it was just a long story. He got bad. And I haven't talked to him for probably 3 years now. But yeah, I'd have killed to have that picture there. I've killed just to see the picture. Because if it's what I saw, it'd have been one I'd definitely have plowed all over this internet. And everybody, "Oh, it's a fake." I'm glad people stop in. That's what it's all about. Anything else? Anybody else have any questions? Now I've seen rakes. And then that first story, it's not very good because I don't remember much of the other guy. I don't even know if I got his name right. It was just friends of mine and Chuck's, and there was me. See, the people I grew up with was me. Okay, it was Dan, who I really hung out with the most, Chuck, Mark, and then there was a guy named Stan, and a guy named Jeff, and then Greg, and then a couple other people. And that was it. And that was in and out through the years. And then John, a friend of mine that lives in Cincinnati, I worked for Ponderosa and Bonanza for years. Shadow people are different from me. Now, when I see an actual shadow person, it's usually following somebody. Now, I have seen them here in the house, but I'm pretty sure that was when my little brother was living here. And I'm guessing, I hate to say this about my little brother, but I'm pretty sure he had an attachment. Because there were times I've seen things around him as a shadow person, as a shadow people. I call them shadow entities because because that's, like I said, I see, when it comes to those things I see following, it's usually a human, relative, or sometimes I've seen people being followed by another human or a ghost, a spirit. And the only reason they were following them was because you could tell they were pissed at that person. So either they'd gotten in a fight or something before they passed and never made up or never resolved the issue. And then, just people, loved ones and stuff following them. And then there's the angelic, and then I call them angelic and demon because I don't, because there's all different types of levels of demons. So those are what I saw. The second things I see, and I can usually tell right off rip, and I'll get off if they're bad. I get the feeling right off rip. I have seen what I'm pretty sure is an angel following two elderly, but this couple must have been married forever. They looked like they were just a little younger than my dad. They were still holding hands and helping each other and talking to each other. I mean, it was beautiful. And there was this thing with wings standing behind them the whole way, and even actually had kind of his hands held out while they were walking through the aisle, like he was just making sure they were safe. And then there's these other things that I see. I don't know if they're good, they're bad, if they're interdimensional, like Gemma says, but those are the ones I have trouble with because sometimes I think they are bad. Whatever they are bad or mischievous because I don't get that demon kind of feeling. I get this uneasy, like, what are you up to kind of feeling? Who are you? What are you? What are you doing? Why are you there? Yeah, I see shit there, Roasty. Lousy typer. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up a chat, and I'm not doing a very good job. Behold, behold, let there lightning and thunder. But yeah, I see a little bit of everything. Like I said lately, it's just I don't want to go out. It's just we went out a little bit last weekend, me and Pop, and I was the one that had to call. Usually it's him calling it. I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. Let's go. But this time it was like, Dad, I gotta go. I can't do this anymore. He was like, what's wrong? I said, I just can't do this anymore. He goes, that's fine. He goes, you okay? And I go, yeah, fine. And we were standing inside, believe it or not, a Hobby Lobby. And it was like every other person. And some of it was like bad. And then some of it was like really bad. And it's like, you want to say something to these people. So I wanted to say something. And I can tell Dad knows that I don't think he understands. But I know there's times that he watches me and I can feel him watching me going, are you okay? What's going on? Kind of deal, look on his face. And I'm watching people and making faces, probably worse than Amy. And so I hate it because I'd like to see more good again. I mean, I'm not seeing that good. I'm seeing right now more bad than good. And it's kind of bugging me. I could use a slice of that pizza. All right, that's right. Hurry back when you can, if you can come back. If not, Cindy, we'll see you around. But if you come back, I'm only going to be on for another hour. For another hour. I'm going off at midnight. So if you come back, please do. Yeah, because I'm going to go to midnight. Feels like it's going a little slow, but that's me today. I'm kind of glad it kind of slowed down. It was cruising all day today. Is there anybody else? Anybody else got anything that we're going to talk about? Anything I missed? It's at 27%. Oh, that sucks, Ann. Better change that phone. Dog man like a pit bull. Oh, Black, did you leave? I'm sorry. Hey, Black, you take care if you're still listening. You have a good one, man. I got to rambling. My brain gets to thinking. Unless it turns 4 a.m. I'll tell you, that night we stayed on until 4 a.m. was great. I don't mind those nights because it literally, that night we were on here till 4 a.m. It was kind of nice because I sat and I grabbed me a cup of tea and sat in front of my window and watched the sun come out. I rolled over, climbed over, jumped out of the chair here and rolled into bed. I think I slept a good 2 hours. I rocked because I know my bed was clear out in the middle of the floor, but I slept and I was ready to go. I've seen living spirits, remote view. Okay, astral projection. Now, see, I astral project, but I don't think it's like, it's weird because, see, that just happened. It just happened when I was younger. I think a lot of it was just a gift to get me out of my body because I don't think people understand. I may not look bad, but as soon as I get comfortable or start to relax, my body starts and it doesn't want to stop. And no matter how much I fight it, I try everything. And it just won't. And you figure I've been doing this since I was 2 years old. And I get kind of frustrated sometimes, but I've learned to live with it. I mean, I still get frustrated with it, but I think it was when I was younger, it was really bad. Now it started picking up again, probably in my late 30s. It started kicking up again, a little heavy like it was when I was younger. Mom said it was real bad when I was a kid. And I would break beds. I'd tip. When I was a baby, I guess I'd either break the playpen or I'd break the crib. I tipped it over a couple times rocking so hard. And I think the astral projection was just the good Lord's way of saying, hey, man, you need to get some rest somehow. And I just not like I go flying through the galaxy or I just go and there's a place that I've built over the years. I go to it basically like a little valley in Colorado in the Smoky Mountains or something. I go down there and I sit and I interact with myself and I just enjoy the peace and quiet, just kind of cut myself off and just listen to whatever sounds I create at the moment. And I'm at peace for a while. And I know when I'm astral projecting because I can look down and see myself in bed rocking right before I take off. I can literally look down at myself and see myself going to town, just rocking back and forth in bed. And that's been harder over the years, though. After I got married and had kids, it got a little hard to do it. And it's been hard, and I still do it. It's like I have to be at my worst for it to really work right. Other than that, it just feels like a lucid dreaming. When I astral project, I always make sure I'm grounding myself. Yeah, everybody says they have a cord. I don't know if I have one or not. Believe it or not, when it's bad, when I'm really bad and I know I'm going to astral project, I hold my Bible. That's what I hold. And I know when I'm rocking, I got that. And when I come back and I'm still holding on to it tight, I always make it back. But I don't go nowhere crazy. There's been a couple times I've let myself in an astral projection kind of wander around. I didn't like some of the things that you could find wandering around out there. So I stopped doing it for my own protection, especially when I see things during the day. I don't want to see them. I want calm and peace. But yeah, everybody talks about the cord thing. I never paid attention. If there's a cord on me, okay, but I've just never paid attention to it. Now, I've heard about it. I've read about it when I started learning, realizing that what I did was astral projection. And that wasn't until much later in life. I just figured I was a lucid dreamer, And then I realized when I could actually look down and see myself rocking in my bed, that's when I knew what I was doing. I have a lucid dream. Lucid dreams are really weird. A lot of the war dreams that I have are very lucid dreams. It's like I'm really there. Everything's happening for real. I feel the swords hit me. I feel the arrows hit me. Silver threads, golden needles in my head. It's stuck in her head now. But yeah, I mean, astral projections. I hear people taking, I went astral project and I went to galaxies and talked to aliens. To be honest, I don't know. I only know what I can do. I know that it helps me. I know now there's a difference between lucid dreaming, and there's also dreams that you control, which is basically the same thing, but astral projection, because I literally know that I've left my body to a point. I mean, a part of me has left my body. I wouldn't say all of me, but part of me has left my body. Because I can definitely, when I do it, I definitely look down. That's how I always make sure I know what I'm doing. Because if I can look down and see myself rocking, I know I'm good. I always look at myself when I come back too. And then next thing I know, I wake up. And there's been a couple times I don't remember coming back, but I'd be sitting on the edge of the bed. Now that bothered me. I keep looking at both of them. White one's bigger. This song, I really don't do it unless I want answers to something. Yeah, we'll see. That's when the lady in the light came to me. Was a while back, about 2 years ago. About the time I met Gemma, I got real bad because I was going through a bunch of surgeries and stuff, messing with me. Some things happened, and I know I was so bad off that I was like praying, please let me astral project. I gotta leave my body. I just can't take my body anymore. It was all kinds of crap was going on, and I went to my favorite place, and all of a sudden the door opened up, and nothing but light came out of that door, and then a person came through it. I still have a drawing of it. In fact, do I have it here? I drew it the next day. It stuck with me. Where did I put it? I know I have it. That's what I did. Where did I put it? Aha. And this is what came to me that night. I don't know if you can see it. That's what I saw. But it was a lot brighter, but that's basically what I could see. Couldn't see her face. She had gold hair. It looked angelic. It looked like she had wings, but that's in my mind's eye. That's what I was seeing. But it was so bright. Every so often I'd get this. Yeah, I drew it the day after. And that was, I was only asleep. I was only astral projecting. It felt like I was gone forever. I mean, it felt like I was gone for an entire day. When I came back, and that was one of the times I came back, and I was just sitting. When I came to, I was sitting on the edge of the bed, tears coming down my eyes, and I knew I was rocking because I could feel, how you could tell you were still in motion when you wake up, and tears coming down my eyes. It's like I remember everything when I astral project. So, and I talked to a couple people. The next day, I drew that. And she told me a lot that night. A lot. And then she's pointing at two people. I'll tell you, one of them was Pop. But she was pointing at two people in that picture. That's the last time I still see her. She still comes. Sometimes it's just a voice in my sleep. But she was pointing at two people. I mean, we talked for hours, and she just said, you have to take care of these two people. That's what you got to do right now. And she pointed at two people. Pop was one of them. And that's what I've been trying to do. And things get crazy. She either shows up, or I got two very spiritual friends that I go to and talk to. They're the ones that keep my feet grounded because, like I said, you see crap all day and deal with some of the stuff that, it's stuff I deal with is just the craziness of the day because I would love to be back at work. I want to work so bad. I'd rather be at work. It'd be easier to deal with all of this, even the things I've seen, if I was just working. But they won't let me go back to work. I can understand why. My last year working was, even I was ashamed of myself. I was one of those guys that tried to give at least 99.9% if he could. When I realized I couldn't do that and I was barely giving 80, that tore me up. It was like my body just couldn't, it was just, the rocking was just getting too crazy, even during the day. I've been in experiences and continuous dreams at this point the past 2 weeks, really. Yeah, I think it was an angel. See, in this case, when I saw that, I asked, when you see something that presents itself as angelic, you want to ask it, do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe he died for sins? You want to see if they were, because if it don't respond or tries to change the subject, it's usually not what it says it is. This was like, it was quoting me scripture. It was praising the Lord. Every so often, when she talked to me, it almost sounded like she was singing. But some of it was words, though I never saw her lips moving, or I could never see her face. The light was just so bright. Every so often I'd get that form. And it was pretty intense. It was almost like a near-death experience I had the second time I passed. But that person I didn't see, but it came off as female. And this lady in light kind of sounds like the same person. And they had told me that he had put me on a path, that I just stay on that path. And and a lot of times when I pass, it's usually, or the last time it was an accident. You're okay, Steve, it's an accident. And a couple other things were said that I can't talk about because it's kind of personal. And next thing I know, two bright lights, and I was waking up to a guy holding paddles in front of me. And that's happened a couple times. Waking up to somebody standing holding paddles open. But those experiences were more voices standing in light and listening to somebody talking to me. One time I was standing in my field. I always seem to stand in a field. And there was like my waiting spot. I think even Anthony has called it a waiting spot because that's a couple of times when I passed. Before I came back, I was standing in this field. Then I was covered in light. Then I'd hear somebody would speak to me and tell me some things. I don't like talking about it because a lot of it's personal. Last time before the time before 5 times. The first 3 times were putting me back on the path. 4th time, they specifically told me something about something I was going through and some people I was dealing with. And then it told me to beware of the future, that prophecy is not fake. Beware, the prophecies are real. And then the last time, it was an accident, Steve. It's an accident. You're going back. And then they tell me said a couple things. Like I said, like most of the time, I wake up to somebody standing over me with paddles. So I see a couple bright flashes. And then I see somebody standing there and go, he's okay, he's alive. I follow the pagan path of most 40-year-olds, 40 years. Those things might be interpreted as an archangel in my eyes, Ghosty. It's highly possible. I haven't asked it its name. I don't think I need to. Things that have told me over the last 2 years has been a guiding pleasure and probably the reason why I'm still where I'm at right now, to say the truth. And a lot of it I think started when I called into Sean's channel, Chasing the Truth. When I started talking about what I was seeing and things I'd been through, is when things started to kick in full gear. But see, I don't like always talking about that stuff. One, everybody's talking about it now, but now I'm beginning to realize it's important because things are starting to happen. The veil is lifting, and it's thinning too. People that haven't experienced it are starting to see it now. If they're not seeing it themselves, they're seeing it through other people. And everybody's going to start seeing it. Some of these people are going to start seeing it. They're going to have to talk about it. It's going to mess with them. I'm thankful that you and I met. Oh, thanks, Ann. I'm glad you came in tonight. I do think about a lot of you guys from those days a lot. Edna's always still around. Bless her heart. and I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you had a walk. You're having a good day. That's good. Somebody has kept me walking, heck, dancing. That's good. You got somebody. You're one person I definitely would like to meet. I don't know if I could. I ponder. See, sometimes I touch people and I see everything. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens a lot more now than I imagined. I touched my dad the other day. I touch him all the time. But the other day I touched him. And I saw some things and made me respect him even more. Let's put it that way. And it was like out of the blue too. It was like, whoa. I've touched him my whole life. I've never had that happen. Yeah. There are people I will never touch. Some of my own friends, I've never shook their hands, never high-fived them. We're good friends because I know what I'll see. If you saw my life, it'd break your heart. Honey, I probably wouldn't doubt it. I think you could say that pretty much about everybody in this room, probably in one form or another. But I get you, and I get you. And I can't say that. I've had a pretty good life. I mean, I've been through some stuff, but my life's been good. I mean, I'm safe and secure. I wish I could help other people, put other people in this better position. Right now, I'm in a good place. Now, when Pop goes, that story's going to change, but I'm okay with that. I'm prepared for it. And I can't keep the house. I'm not keeping the house, not with the taxes that they have in this city. Heck no, I ain't paying taxes on this house. Even if it was free and clear, I'd still have to pay those damn taxes. Too much here, especially for somebody that don't have kids here. So, but I'm prepared and ready. But yeah, but I've had a pretty good life. I mean, physically, it's a whole different story, but I can't complain. I really can't. I see other people and I know it breaks my heart. And I'm sure it probably would, Ann. You're such a sweet lady, but we all been through our trials and tribulations. And probably more to come. And you're going through them right now, hon. I know. Just hang in there. Just remember, Ann, you got a good soul. But I'm sure, there's a lot of people I touched and I literally broke down crying. One person I touched and I had to walk away from them. I didn't want them to see that I saw. But I think they knew now. What you don't tell a shrink? I see dead people. Yeah, you don't. I killed them all. And what you don't tell a cow, I killed them all. Mm-hmm. There are people that I won't touch. Yeah, there's some people out there. And it's pretty funny because my friends, and these are good friends, but I think one of them, a really good friend of mine, the guy I used to fight with, I've never touched him, never sparred with him, because I know this guy's had a very dark past. I mean, dark past. I don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to have that chance of seeing it. Yeah, it kills me, doesn't he, Nightmare? Yeah, I've been through it. It's made me. That's right. Look at me. It's made. Well, I'm not a very good example, but it's made me who I am. It really has. You know, I'm not a great guy. I have my faults and pains, and I can be a dick at times and pain in the ass sometimes. But you know what? I do my best. You know, I care about the people around me, and I do my best to be as unconditionally loving as possible, despite my pain and my agonies and my not. It's not as much pain as just living in motion 24 hours a day. I mean, even when people think I'm sitting still like I am now, I'm not. My legs are down here doing 1,000 miles a minute. I'm surprised I haven't jumped out of the chair. In fact, a lot of these times during the streams, I'm surprised you don't see me getting up and down, up and down, up and down. Ghosty, my last supervisor, said that if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have. Hey, you can't have good luck without bad luck. I always say, you can't have one without the other. You got to have an opposite to everything. What makes it equal? I actually wear the appreciation crystal pendant for each occasion if I'm going to be around negative. Hey, there you go. I tell my nurse practitioner a little bit greener pastures 5 to 6 years. I talk to myself. A lot of people talk to themselves, just don't admit it. Welcome back, Mike. Yeah, did he sneak out and come back in? I'm far from perfect to myself, Ghosty, but I'm not evil. That's the way to look at it. I'm not evil. I'm not evil. I don't know. I have my moments. I do have my moments. But I forget it. I ain't gonna say it. I'm bad guy who wants to hurt the bad guys. I'm the bad guy that wants to hurt bad guys. Now I can associate with that. Believe me. There's a number of people. I'm an unassuming guy. I know I am. And I like giving off the wrong impression. Especially a lot of people, and there's a couple people that think that I'm kind of a pushover. I'm aware. Oh, I'm aware. I know what you're doing, what you're not doing. You don't have to tell me. I don't have to be having somebody sneaking around. I know. I'm good with it. Just don't take it out on me. You don't want that. I talk to Sing all the time. There you go. My little brother used to do that. He'd talk to himself and answer himself out loud. It's like, dude, I have my days, but come on, man. If you get hauled away, don't come crying to me. But then again, at least you know you're listening to yourself. And I talk to the trees and the birds. And when I'm outside, I talk to everything. My dad cracks up and goes, what are you talking about? I'm talking to the birds over there. Talking to the squirrel over there looking at me like I'm a dumbass. All mechanics do. Yeah, I've heard my dad talk. He's a mechanic. A machinist. He's a mechanic. He does the same thing. I hear him out there working on an engine or something, talking to himself. We may be all a little touched. Yeah, I'm sure we are in our own little way. I told my dad the other day, I said, I wonder when I'm going to run into an actual sane person. And he looked at me and goes, we're sane. I go, are you sure about that? I've yet to meet a sane person. Let's put it that way. He kind of laughed after he realized what I was getting at. It's true. My mechanic cusses to himself. Yeah, so you should. My dad don't. Well, he just started cussing again. It took him a while to cut it loose because he was not a cusser, and so I know he did the garage because what you see a dad at home and then the dad at the garage is two different things. We all know that. No one else will answer. I got that problem too, Mike. Well, I'll say something. You think I'm talking to myself, but actually I'm trying to talk to Dad or whoever's listening that's in the film or range. I'm trying to get in the field of hearing. And then finally, who are you talking to? I go, I'm actually talking to you. So I had to answer myself because you never answered me. We are in our own little way, Smoochie. We are. I mean, to be honest with you, with my talking issues, I'm surprised that people say I do as well as I know I have mistakes. I go back and watch myself, and I'm kind of like, I don't know how people stick around. I know I have problems, and it's getting worse. I mean, those days, I'm glad I didn't stream because there's no way I would have been able to talk. Usually, sometimes by the end of the day, because I'm trying to communicate with a man who won't go get a hearing aid. But I'm not going to push him. He's 90 years old. I pick on him about it, but I'm not supposed to say, man, cool. If I had his hearing issues too, I'd probably want to just leave it on off all the time too. What time we got here? Oh, we only got a half hour. We don't even have. We're just kind of popping through here slow and easy. It's fine. I still got 17 people. Hey, you 17 people, thank you for coming in and saying hi or hanging out and listening. If there's anything you want to know about, just yell in the chat. I can answer you the best I can. I can tell you what I experienced, and that's about it. The way I think. I talk in my sleep and continue conversation even after awake. Now, my dad has done that lately, and I honestly think he's talking to my mom because there's been a couple nights lately. I know, pretty sure mom's been in the house. You got to remember, she's just literally buried right down in the cemetery here, and he woke up still holding the conversation, and I'm like, Dad, who are you talking to? And he wouldn't answer me, and I pretty much knew what the answer was. So you might be talking to somebody that might be an important conversation when you're doing that. I used to be crazy. I used to be crazy, but I'm feeling that. Example A, my finger has cut from pulling a BMW manifold today. Oh, man. I got cut today, too. Somebody threw a bunch of knives in the sink dishwater. I didn't know they went in there. I went scrolling around to do dishes. Got tagged a couple times. Not as sharp as a manifold, but man, that hurt. It's like getting paper cuts. Yeah, if you're talking to sleep, the way I see talking in your sleep and getting up and still holding the conversation or even remembering the conversation, picking it up, pretty much tells me you were talking to somebody that was important or it was that good of a conversation in a dream you had to carry it on. Or argument. Oh, I remember Night Court. Yeah, they didn't even think about that. This show I haven't heard about. It's a shame he passed. It really is. I love that show. It was one of my favorites. Bummer Bro. Yeah, just. Oops, sorry about that. I lost your train of thought. I'm getting tired. I did a lot today. Actually, when I'm done here at midnight, I'm going to put dishes away. They got lazy. I washed them, but I didn't dry them. So I just left them here. So I need to go dry them, make sure they're clean, put them away. And I'll probably mop the floor, try to work off some energy here so I don't rock too bad tonight. I like to try to get some sleep. I got about an hour and a half last night, and it was a solid sleep. My son comes and checks on me. See, this is how late it is when I fall asleep. A lot of times when I'm just going to sleep, my son is getting up and going to work. And these are the last couple of mornings, and he looked in, I wasn't moving, which is a good thing. But I also woke up both those mornings stiff, hurting, which was weird. But I've been go. At 3 a.m. Usually, now there's last week it was like every night actually, I was watching the sun come up. I know probably 5 of those nights out of the 7, I probably watched the sun come up. You have a good night, Mark. Please have a pleasant night, I should say. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. And I'll probably see you tomorrow night with Miss Pixie at 8 if you come in. So have a wonderful day, okay? Thank you for stopping in. I do appreciate it. So, I actually had somebody upset because they didn't realize I only average, if I'm lucky, 20 hours of sleep, 25 hours a week. There's been a couple times I've gotten a little more than that. Yes, please do, and I'll try to have a good day too. Actually, tomorrow's a busy day too. I'm like I said, I'm trying to get stuff done for the winter, but I don't know. I've just adjusted to it. I know I probably some of the reasons why I have some of the issues I have, but the main reason is I'm just in motion. Even when I do sleep, I wake up and my brain is refreshed, but it feels like I've been running all night. Well, for those couple hours I slept, I should say. I can feel the pain I had drilled in my finger. Oh man, I watched a guy using a deli slicer, cut his finger off. I was the only one smart enough to tell him to put it in a damn ice bucket. And caught a cup and put it in the cup. Saved his finger. But he won't be using that slicer anymore for a while. Dad had an engine block fall on his chest. He was working for Wonder Bread. And it didn't crush him. The chain caught it just as it landed. I mean, it literally, that's it. When he came home, he literally had the imprint on his chest. And the paramedics were like, I don't know how it didn't crush him or how he lived. I mean, because it was on there tiny enough, it should have probably done something to him. Didn't break any ribs or nothing, but man, he had that imprint. His old chest was black and blue. Had a big old mark on his forehead. Actually, I do have some of that put away for special nights. It's usually when I'm really, really bad. I've been bad, and I mean really bad, meaning doing this. I mean, there are times when I get off of Oracle, or by the end of the day, I'm just so bad I can't do anything. I can't hold a pencil or anything. That's when it's that bad. That's when I result, because I'm down to 5 medicines now. I might stick with those 5, but they're not. 3 of them are not really doing anything. But I'm going to give them a chance. But I've dealt with it for so long, and I won't do pain med. Will not do it. I'd rather fight the pain. And if it gets bad, there's other ways I can take care of that. And that's that way, or I just fight it. I don't like pain meds. Like I said, I take them for a couple days, and it's like after that, it's like taking baby Tylenol. Good night, Ann Palmer. You have a pleasant night, and have a good day tomorrow. Everybody else going too? Mike, you going too? Good night. Yeah, I think I'm going to call here pretty soon. We got what? A couple more. Everybody's booking early, so it's only 11:30. I mean, if we don't make it to midnight, that's all right. I just shoot for midnight for the fun of it. So, Edna, have you talked to your daughter? I should talk to you, should I say? Hey, you said you didn't have any more problems with since you've been back. No, I believe me, honey. Like I said, when I'm over 10, I just shut myself off. I come into my bedroom. It's like having a migraine. I just shut everybody down so I'm not mean to anybody because it makes, I get edgy, a little on the touchy side. I just close myself off and ride it through. Now, the only time that was really bad is right after they did my neck. And they sent me home the next day. Boy, I wouldn't stay. So I made them send me home. So I went home. And of course, that night I dreamed, I went to sleep because they gave me pain medication, but the medication doesn't stop me from moving. So my head went like this all night because I slept on my back the whole time. So my head was doing this all night. And they thought I might have messed up all the work they did, but I was hurting. Now that was pain. My pains are about, I average, if you want to do it by that 1 to 10 scale, I live on about a 7 or 8 on a daily basis. That's a given. When I get above a 10 is when I start shutting myself off from everybody. Because I've been 11 to 12, as you might want to call it, probably how you feel at times. And, it's not pleasant. But I just have had no good experience using pain medication. And after doing the OxyContin, nope, done. I'll deal with it. And if I can't, they can knock me out. And if they're going to kill my pain, they better knock me out too, because painkillers don't stop my motion. So the pain is just it's just a waste. Oh my gosh, Black Dragon. You said you did. That's good, Anna. So you're a lot stronger than you think. Yeah, and next questions. Have you heard your owls lately? Have you ever thought that the owls have been hanging around because of your daughter? What do you think about that? Maybe they were trying to tell you something about your daughter. Maybe they're all the critters that kept coming around. Maybe they were trying to tell you something. I just want to think about that because didn't you start finding out about this probably about a little after we were talking about owls? I was telling you they were there to tell you something. They were there for a reason. Alert you or make you aware of something. Look what happens. Mm-hmm. Me too, Dragon. Actually, the rocking didn't really start causing a lot of the physical damage with me until I started hitting my late teens, early 20s. Then I started feeling it. And it didn't help kickboxing on the side because I wasn't doing I was doing tournaments, but they weren't like anything special. It wasn't like I was in some fancy program where we were traveling from state to state, like Karate Kid. These were just local tournaments. A lot of them were right down there at Ohio State, their gym, and a couple other gyms, other teams facing off. But between doing all that, probably didn't help the pain anyways that was starting to kick in. Then I did real good until about 35, 36. I started having some back issues. And that's when they realized that the rocking was finally starting to take a toll on me. Where I knew from the start that I had a degenerative disc disease. They found that when I went to take my test. I was trying to get in the service, trying to be a Marine. My dad was a Marine. And they wouldn't take me for 2 reasons. The rocking, the motion disorder, because back then they didn't know what it was, so they called it a movement disorder. And during my physical, they realized that I had a degenerative disc disease, and they think that might have helped. The rocking probably just made that even worse. So it's just, But yeah, the real pain didn't come till much later, till probably my late 30s when I really started feeling it. Now, I'm not saying I didn't feel it before that. That's when you get older, it tends to be a little more harsher on you. We were FaceTiming and hummingbird flew right in front of her face. I have them at my house now. I have hummingbirds. We have hummingbirds that come back every year. And there's one that comes out to the front yard. And I had a hanger hanging there. And every time I sat on the front porch, if it was almost empty, this thing would fly up to me. My mom loved hummingbirds. And it got to the point where it'd come right up to my face. And I just started calling it Mom. Well, every year it comes back. It came back this year. Well, I don't know if it's the same hummingbird, because they don't live very long lives, I don't think. And it always flies right up to my face or flies up to the window. We have a big picture window, and that hanger stands right out there in the front yard. And it's the only one that hits that feeder. And the only thing I can think of is Mom comes back every spring. And then the other day, it came back just before they disappeared for the migration. Because they migrate here. They usually about September, about mid-September, beginning of October, you don't see them anymore, except maybe a couple stragglers. The owls did come to her old house and the new one when I was there. Interesting, Ghost. I want you to think about that, Edna. That was right before all this went down. I knew there. Every time I saw you show up in chat, and the owls came to my head. Now, I know you like owls, but it was really weird because I'd always see an owl. I don't know what your house looks like or anything, but I always see a house with an owl and a tree, sometimes two. So that's why I always brought it up. And then you started saying other animals started hanging around. I'm telling you, something was trying to tell you something. Maybe that's what it was trying to make you aware of or prepare you for. But it is interesting. I got to think about that the other day because I did some stuff. Because if she's doing good, I'm not going to worry about it. It sounds like you're a little stronger than you think you are. And she may be a lot stronger. If she told him to go away and then you went in and did that stuff, you guys may make a good pair, actually. Then it comes back, both of you team up on it. You're liable to kick it away from good if it comes back. You kept telling me there was something important I needed to do. Yeah. And there it is. I don't know. I go with my gut. And I don't have little special voices, but I get little flashes of visions everywhere with certain people and certain things. Did it the other day with my older brother. I called him, hey, man, this is what I saw. Just do me a favor. Just keep your eyes peeled. He called me back the other day because it happened. I go, that's weird. He goes, dude, you freaked me out. Sorry, folks. Yeah, because sometimes I freak my brothers. My whole journey started with a huge owl. See, I told you. I'm telling you, there's something to it. And if you start seeing them again, you'll now have an idea to maybe pay a little more attention to what's going on around you. Not that you probably weren't, because you probably are on a high alert already. But I think it's pretty wild how that happened. That's what I do to people and why they, I'm a witch. I've never been called a witch. Weird. Even my own brothers call me weird. My little brother, he never believed in any of this. He was the one that didn't believe me about what happened in the cemetery. And he never did believe me. But he just wouldn't accept it. And then my older two brothers, they kind of did and kind of didn't. But because I freaked them out all the time. Especially my older brother. Me and my older brother, we look a lot alike. To a point, yeah. He's got a cherry. He's got creep. He permed his hair. He cracks me up. But he's a good guy. Yeah, I've never been called a witch. Been called a lot of other things, but never a witch. Excuse me. Pardon me, that wasn't very professional of me. No, I've never been called anything like that. Just weird and a couple of cuss words, but like they like when things happen with me and my friends when we were growing up. They always blame me. I don't know why. They were there too, but I always got blamed for it. And that's because they knew a few of them knew that I saw things that followed people even then. And that all started, like I said, with the little kids and with me being in kindergarten, watching those little things following the kids around. My youngest didn't believe until he saw a ghost at 3 a.m. Then he called his mama. Now, see, my son, I think he believes a little bit. After we moved in the house here with Dad, he was sitting upstairs. He was acting kind of funny. I don't know what was going on in his life at the time. I don't. If I let him come to me, I go to him when I need to say, "Hey, bud, there's something up, and you want to talk." But he was dating a girl and he was trying to figure things out. But he come downstairs about, I don't know, about 2:30, because I was up, and he knocks on the door and I open. He opens. He goes, "Yeah, I figured you were up." I go, "Yeah, what's wrong?" And he comes over and his hand was ice cold because I was laying in bed and it literally felt like somebody grabbed me. Again, I touched his hand. I'm going like this, "Dude, you're ice cold." He goes, "Yeah, but touch the rest of me." I touched the back of his hand. He's warm, except his arm was just ice cold. I go, "Well, what were you doing?" I was just laying there, and I heard the floor creak, and I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it was Puff, and next thing I know, it literally felt like somebody just grabbed me by my hand like this. And I'm like, "You think of Grandma?" I go, "It might have been Grandma checking on you. I don't know." I said, "That's a new one. I don't think she's ever done that." But he's only happened twice on him, and that was in that same week, and then never had a problem again. Personally, I think my little brother, he had a lot of demons. He was always a troubled kid, always liked to get in trouble, let's put it that way. And I always thought something was always attached to him. Like I said, I've seen some weird stuff around him go on around him. And I just wondered if he had left something, because it wasn't much after we moved in, probably not much after he left here. And that's where they were staying, were upstairs. And I just wonder if something wasn't left behind. I did go up and sage it. I saged this house. After the fire, I saged it. And when they had it all gutted, I came in and saged it and cleaned it. After they got done working on it and all the guys were gone, finally I came in and saged it and cleansed it and blessed it. And then I did it the day right before we moved back in. And then when they brought all the boxes and all our stuff back, I went around and blessed all the boxes and saged all the boxes before we started to open them the night before. So if there's something here now, like that night that thing came, that was done for a reason. Other than that, I know when Mom's here, because he usually talks in his sleep, and it doesn't last very long. I've actually heard him say, "Okay, good night," and it happens once or twice a week. He's been pretty quiet the last couple of days. So. My whole family started with Utah. Really? That's right, you did. I read that. That's what me, my youngest. Okay. My husband knows it from just being with you. Now, see, it was really weird because weird stuff would go on around me and my wife. I think she always just ignored it. Even when she knew I was seeing stuff, because she knew. And like I didn't even tell her, before we got married, look, you may think I'm weird, but I see stuff all over people. She never made a big deal out of it. She never asked questions. She never said anything. She never brought up to her married. Even that one time when I came home pretty freaked out because we had gone to a haunted house. And I don't think she saw it, but inside that haunted house, there was something bad. I don't know if it was an employee that brought it in there or it was already in the haunted house, in the house they were using, but there was something really bad. And this shadow that was hanging out in this corner around one of the actors, if you want to call him that, was just, it was bad. And it was freaking me out. And especially having all kinds of people trying to freak you out anyways. It was not good. And I came home. I had pretty much closed myself up a little bit just to kind of get a grip because I wasn't scared. It was just, it's like, how come these people don't see this stuff? She's standing right there. I didn't say nothing to her because I didn't want to freak her out. Because we were in the haunted house, you would have thought that somebody was getting ready to jump her or something. And so, but she never brought it up, never said anything. I never really made a big issue out of it. I just kept it to myself. Okay. But she never made a big deal out of it. Now she's asked questions. Now she does ask questions. I'm pretty sure my oldest daughter is gifted. And I'm pretty sure her oldest daughter, Rebecca's gifted too. In fact, I'm pretty sure both of them are. Actually, I know she is. She's just now realizing herself. I was called a devil worshiper. I had nothing to do with the cause. It just feared my abilities. Now, I've never been called that. Now, I've had those type of people approach me and try to get me involved. Like, no, I'm not into that stuff, dude. I had a couple kids at school, in high school, that were really into the black art. They were always trying to. They invited me to come over and play Dungeons and Dragons, and then the conversation during Dungeons and Dragons got kind of weird about black satanic practices and stuff. Like, dude, you don't want to mess with that stuff, dude. You don't know what you're dealing with. And they just kept on it. I went over and played one more time and said that was it. I was not playing anymore. You guys are getting into stuff that you don't want to be messing with. But no. I never been called that because of my abilities. I took everything Sage pulled. I bet you did. If I know you, Florida water. Yeah, well, just take a Florida man and put it in the house for 15 minutes and see if that was spooky. Bad joke. Hey, Jules, how you doing, hon? Good evening to you, too. Good evening. 10 minutes ago, you made it in 10 minutes. But yeah, I've been called. I didn't see this thing. People just, when I've approached people, it's either just get away from me or I don't want to hear it. What are you, crazy? Or they just walk away. I've never had anybody. There's been a few times when they put up a fist. And it's like, dude, I'll leave you alone. I just thought you should know. And walked away. I had one person hit me. But I think it was just the way I approached them. I think I scared them. Because it wasn't good. What was with him that day was not good. And I don't know if he hit me or it hit me, but I got hit. I got up and said, I'm sorry. I was just trying to warn you, and I walked away. I'm good. I'm doing good all day. Last night I had those funny voices come over the television again. Yeah, you got to watch leaving those TVs on. That's why I don't listen to TV. When I go to bed, no TV, nothing's left on. I used to listen to the radio at night. I'd stop. Like, the mirror I used to have in here, I don't have it in here anymore because they broke it. They didn't break the mirror, but they broke the frame to it. I covered it at night. I didn't for a while, and it didn't bother me. But then one night I had this really weird dream, so I started covering it again. But they broke it when they took it, and then broke it back. When they brought it back, they broke the frame, so I couldn't hang it back up. Which is probably a good thing, because I probably had to cover it every night before I go to bed. Because I got to that now with everything I'm seeing. This is another thing. Gemma gives me a hard time because I don't take selfies because she wants to use them for promotional pictures and stuff like that. I don't like taking pictures of myself. I don't like really looking at myself in the mirror because I see so many people all day long with things following them all. I'm afraid that when even when I was a kid, I wouldn't take pictures. I didn't like pictures taken on because I was afraid what I'd see behind me. Always. I still do. And I am afraid of that because I don't want to know if there's something. I don't want to know. I guess I can see why they say to freak out when I come up to them. I know I could take care of it. Maybe I should look once in a while, but just the unnervingness. I mean, can you imagine It always freaks me out when you see these top tens and people showing videos and people taking selfies of each other or themselves or doing dancing and TikTok, and they see stuff going on in the background. A lot of times they're calling on that stuff. They don't understand some of those dances. If you look at some of these dances that these kids do now, some of them, if you look back at the dances they've been taught from other like rock stars and all that, some of those dances are actual ritual dancers. Like that chair dance that Beyonce does in that video, that chair dance is actually a chair dance that is a ritual that they do in the Freemasons and in the Illuminati. It's supposed to be provocative, but that's what that is. So even dances can be a ritual. Well, we all know that. What am I saying? I always start with this is going to sound crazy. Yeah, I had a dream. Last time I said that, somebody went, "No, you don't go there." And it's not the kind of dream I had. I wonder if I had someone talk to me about all this back then, what could I be capable of now? I thought about that too, if I understood this a lot sooner. But I think I did understand it at the right time. Because, like I said, it really started picking up when I actually started talking about it, which kind of made me nervous at first. I don't know if mine's really a gift, because I've been understood that what I see and what I observe and what I witness and watch are important. And I know that there are times, dude, when I'm getting ready to either download or overloading, because I am just like kind of frizzy. I'm good, but I'm just kind of frizzy. And then I'll go to bed one night. Not to say I won't rock, but it's like I astral project, but I don't astral project. It's just like I'm not in my body, and it's just like my brain is just kind of melting, and I'm all relaxed. And I'll wake up, even though my bed will be out in the middle of the floor. I usually feel really good, and it's like everything in my head's been organized, replaced, and put in its proper file. Because sometimes, man, I see so much. And it's just not what I see following people and pick up on those. It's sometimes I have vision. Sometimes I see other things. I have not daydreamed, maybe, where my eyes, I actually be standing somewhere and like see something. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's usually when I'm doing something or real busy, and I'll have I don't call it a vision. I'm still having certain visions that I've had now for maybe 3 years now, 4 years, of this continent, the United States, splitting in two, literally splitting in two, a bunch of states in the middle disappearing and being hacked. I've seen Hawaii disappear in one dream. California fall off from the coast, New York City just get washed away. I have those kind of visions. It's weird. I don't make a big deal out of them, because it's like these have all been said before. I mean, I know other people have talked about the same kind of visions, but I see them. I've seen things come flying out of the sky, not UFOs, but what looked like to be demon locusts attacking people and stuff like that. I see stuff like that sometimes, and that's when I get kind of freaked out. It's like, okay, Steve, you're losing your sanity, but oh yeah, we're all capable of doing more than we can. There's so much out there. Your mind we've only tapped in 90. We're not even tapped in really anything in our brains. There's so much more up there that we can utilize, but it's a lot of work, because apparently as humans are not able to comprehend enough how to use all that. And then the people that do, look what happened to people when they start using more of the brain. They either disappear, go nuts, or get driven nuts because they don't want you thinking that smart. I see things I can change. Sometimes I do, but usually it's more prophetic. Now I have deja vu like crazy, and that always amazes me how often. I mean, I'll literally have deja vu like in the morning, then have it again in the afternoon. It's like, what the heck, man? What are you trying to tell me? Tell me what you couldn't tell me. Tell me. Quit making me. Just believe in yourself and trust yourself. Yep. There you go, right there. That's true. Well, we can all achieve anything. You just got to put your foot down and do it. We're too easily. There's too many people out there. How can I put this way? Too many people can be distracted too easily. Once you learn to beat the distractions, you're amazed at what you can do. It's just beating the distraction and learning how to work around it. Ooh. We go over time yet? Yep, she did. 12 o'clock. I'm going to call it, but you guys are all having a good conversation, so I'm going to let it run here a little bit longer. I'm in no rush. Kind of enjoying this, actually. But if anybody else out there, I got 10 people watching. I appreciate if you'd all would kind of hit the thumbs up. Heck, I didn't even hit my own thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. And if you don't, that's fine too. But it'd be nice if you would. Leave a comment if you would. If it's just a hey, or as a Nightmare did one time, something. I wrote in their comment. Gemma laughed. That's real smart. And remember, tomorrow night, Laura 8. I'm surprised she didn't stop in tonight. She must be somewhere. I know her mom's having a rough time. Pixie at 8 tomorrow, as far as I know right now. You're funny. Yeah, it's good. Good night. Yeah, we're getting ready to go. So I'm hoping Miss Pixie tomorrow night at 8. As far as we know, it's up. Not Friday, unless I get on Friday night, midnight. I'm not sure yet. But Gemma will be streaming Saturday at 7:15 for Oracles. Once she gets it set up and everything, I'll start plastering it on you wherever I can put it so everybody remembers that it's on Saturday night. And then next Friday will be on Friday. And then I'll be on Saturday after us. I'll do our Gemma replay. I think we're at 11:12 or 12:13. I'll have to go back and look. Hopefully she says she's got more stories, so hopefully we'll get another listeners encounters here real soon. And her premiere Monday at 11. I should have a video or an idea what that is. I think she told me already, but I'll be hopefully put her thumbnail up so everybody can see it so they remember. Do it now. Do what now? Guess what you can get today. Not everybody. That's all. Yeah, there you go. But everybody have a wonderful night. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night for Miss Pixie. And then I'll let you guys know, at the end of her show, if I'm going to stream or not Friday night. We'll see how things go. So hasta la vista, baby. And we'll call it a night. Thank you all for hanging out with me and listening to me babble. My first story wasn't very good. Because like I said, that kid, me and Chuck had introduced me a lot of kids. And I just couldn't remember his name. But in the story, it could have been a lot better. But it wasn't really a story. It was an encounter, but it was bits and parts. That's when I first saw the rake. And then it was like a couple of days later, we saw it down in the cemetery. It's like I felt like it followed me. But anyways, much love and respect, like Black Dragon says to all of you. May you all have a wonderful day tomorrow. And like I said, hope to see you tomorrow night. Richard Elmore, good night. Black Dragon, Jules, and Nightmare. Please, you guys, everybody that's hanging out with us, the 10 other people that didn't, say anything in chat, I appreciate you hanging. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night for Pixie. And until then, you folks have a wonderful, wonderful day tomorrow. And much love and light.